Okay, think of the Bronze Age. What do you picture in your head? When I first heard of the Bronze Age, I thought it was just like the Stone Age with metal, but really it was one of the most advancing times in history. The Bronze Age began in around 3500 BC, when people in what is now Turkey and other parts of southeastern Europe discovered how to make a metal called bronze. The use of bronze spread throughout Europe and other parts of the world by 2000 BC. The Bronze Age in Ireland lasted from about 2000 BC to 500 BC. It was called the Bronze Age because the metal bronze had been discovered by smelting tin and copper. This had been used to make many different tools and equipment. The Bronze Age in Ireland was around the time of a big climate change. Much of the upland areas had turned into peat bogs. The Bronze Age farmers were forced to work in lowland forests in order to make farmland. Bronze artifacts have been found in these lowland bogs, and some of which are displayed in the National History Museum. This brings us on to the next topic: tools and weapons. First, we'll look at the farming tools. These are sickles, tools that were used because of the sharp blade to harvest crops such as wheat or barley. A saddle stone was used to grind the crops and make them into powder such as flour. That was just about the farming tools. Let's talk about the weapons. The Bronze Age was a great development stage because this is where tools and weapons like swords or axes were no longer stone. Bronze was way more durable and sharper, which made it very easy to cut wood, hay, or someone that's bothering you. Wouldn't want to do that now though. It's a very bad idea. Now we're moving on to burial customs. Bronze Age people buried their dead in single graves called cis graves. Also, they made wedge tombs. These are a lot like portal dons, where two rocks or stones stand parallel while a larger stone, called a capstone, sits on top. An example of this can be found in Ochra, County Clare. I think we should now talk about homes and everyday life. Homes were made of timber beams with wattle and daub walls, which is a mixture of sticks and mud, with a thatched roof made of reeds. Cooking was outdoors. They used to create a wood-lined hole in the ground, fill it with water, and make a fire beside it. They would heat stones on the fire and then put the hot stones into the water to boil it. They would then cook their meat in the water. This technique is called Fuacht Féin. The Bronze Age also saw the first use of gold. Gold was completely useless for any practical purpose, but it became very popular for jewellery and ornaments. For this reason, this era is also called Ireland's first Golden Age. We hope you enjoyed our Bronze Age presentation. Oh, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. Thanks for listening.